Welcome back to Talking with me, Laurie.
That was a good intro. I like that. That was a good intro. Cecil, you could learn something from that.
That'll be on the extra channel, won't it? They'll clip that.
It probably will be. Probably will be. What do you want to talk about, everyone? We've got 45 minutes to fill.
I know what these two want.
I know who you want to talk about.
You know what
his favourite number 14 of all time.
Favourite character assassination. That's what he wants to do.
Well, we're going to have to talk about it.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Talking Transfers, everyone, or whatever is happening in the transfer window. We've got Eddie Nketiah, latest. Not going to Marseille, not going to Bournemouth. What happens next? We talk about Aaron Ramsdale. A loan bid came in from Ajax. Does that mean something's potentially happening? His replacement could cost £25 million as well. So we'll talk about that too. And in midfield, to be fair, I will say this, it seems like the Merino thing is starting to finally pick up. We thought that a month ago. But look, come on, let's not all be doom and gloom. In fairness, the team looks sharp, the team look ready to go for the start of the season. We're all excited for Wolves. We just want those extra additions to give us as good a chance as possible come City. But we'll get this out of the way now, Curtis. Like, it's no excuse come the weekend. Whatever we think of the transfer window, it's a totally separate thing to this current manager, the current players, what we've seen in pre-season, and what we expect for Wolves on the weekend.
Yeah, we've got to win the game on Saturday, regardless of who comes in or doesn't. We did have a good pre-season. I think the issue is everybody's thought process is, how do we catch Manchester City? And we're sitting here, the window's been open, since the middle of June? And we're thinking, what he could have done in 2 months, we're now expecting him to do in 2 weeks. Yeah. And that's worrying.
That's everything, you're right.
Everything. And Ornstein's putting out tweets saying, Merino might be reliant on a sale. And I'm thinking, so you're telling me we can't sign a £30 million player without selling someone? That's worrying language for me. Now, I know he's the mouthpiece of the club and they could be feeding out a narrative that we're a little bit short of money to, make it easier to sign players. But I think the fact that Man City have only signed one player makes me feel like we should have been more on the front foot to get ahead of them, So
does it not tell us something else about the window? I mean, Liverpool fans are feeling frustrated, Man City fans are feeling frustrated. Okay, Tottenham got the Solanke deal over the line, but before that it was a case of, well, we've only signed an 18-year-old. It's only really Man United that have been super active, and obviously Chelsea, because
Tottenham spent 100 mil though. I mean, that's active enough.
I hear
At
it.
This
it's
point,
way
I'd
more
love
active
to.
than us. But again, that only really got done 5 days ago or so.
Can I just say one thing, just quickly, on that what you're saying? Man City might be worrying. Man City have won 4 leagues in a row.
I'm not saying they're worried.
They ain't got to worry that. Liverpool have won every trophy in the last 7 years, and Tottenham are Tottenham. I'm looking at it from our point of view, 20 years no league title. So we should be showing more initiative than these other clubs, because our trophy cabinet has had a few FA Cups and not much else for 2 decades. So I feel like every year we're bridging that gap to Man City. We've got so close to them now, it's like, don't stop now. You've got to take that one step further.
I know, but for me they're 2 different things. Like, I will be disappointed if we don't add in midfield and in the forward line. Like, I really feel it's important. I just simultaneously am like, it's a weird market. Even those like Man City who have won trebles and still strengthened. They won the treble and outspent us last summer. So like, they're not averse to spending money. Liverpool have a new manager. They'll seriously want to back him. They tried to get to Mendy. They've done nothing else. So it has been a weird window. Yeah. It's just where I get especially frustrated. It's like, Merino's a £25 million deal. We just let Smith Rowe go for 34. Surely we could have done that. But it looks like it will. It's just taking its time a little bit. We'll talk about the forwards in detail. Laurie, are you particularly worried about it 2 weeks ago, or are you relaxed?
I'm kind of in the same position as those guys. I kind of feel the same. But on that whole striker thing, I'll tell you who has signed a striker. Wolves, who we play on Saturday. Yeah. They've signed a striker. Larson, I think his name, Norwegian guy. I think he scored 13 goals for Celta Vigo last season. It's highly thought of, and they've snapped him up. So, it is possible. They've also signed a right back and a winger. So listen, you can do business.
No, yeah, absolutely we can. I just wonder, like, I'm getting to the point where I'm like, not anything is good, because we're a good team. It's not a case of anyone can stroll in and be good for us. But people can't keep telling me that there aren't options out there. Like, oh well, they might not fit the culture. Oh well, they might not have the right attitude. Oh, they might not be the top quality. When you look at some of the players that actually, dare I say, I was about to say that are getting minutes, but they're not getting minutes. The point is Arteta's not playing them. So there are ways we can add percentages to this squad. Are you starting to worry Turkish, or do you still remain calm but know what you want? I mean, where are you 2 weeks ago?
I know what I want, the league title. However they decide to do it in the next 2.5 weeks, the demand doesn't change for me.
Yeah.
So I'm at a point where I really don't care. Just know I'm not going to be here in March and April not screaming about the fact that we feel like we're 2 pieces away from, being complete, and we failed to do it. And I'm not saying that that's been the case for years now, but under Wenger, for many years finishing top 4, it felt like a couple more players, a title challenge at least, maybe a title's on the horizon. And we never used to do it, we used to dilly-dally. I feel like this is another dilly-dally summer. And it's kind of deflating because it comes off the back of such a great summer. I think last summer was the best summer we had in the window in the entirety of our Emirates era. So to build on that with a January like we did, and then a summer like we've had so far, which, listen, Calafiori's a good signing, but none of us put centre-back in our top 3 priorities this summer. So yes, Calafiori's good, but that doesn't take my eye off the ball. I'm not going to say, we bought Calafiori and so it's been a D. Nah, Calafiori was an extra for me, our 4th signing of the summer. So where's the other 3? So am I getting worried? I mean, I thought I'd be in a position now where I'm saying we're going to win the league title. I really thought the final couple pieces would have been bought in early. Arteta's mentioned many times, buy early in the window. Yeah, and he's shown that many times. He's mentioned many times that you can't sit around twiddling your fingers in any window when you're competing with Man City. Our manager has said that, and I'm not using these to criticise him. What I'm saying is, if our manager said that, this summer doesn't sound like something he'd be happy with. Yeah. So I look above him. Edu's one, yes, but really I look above him as well, because let's not forget, we are back to square one with these Cronkays. They started owning this club when we was challenging. They saw us through an era of majority ownership, an era of top 4, and that was it. No ambition to build. That was square one where Cronkays were at, where we all got frustrated with them. So now we're back to square one again. Are they going to do the same thing? Because this summer would be the same thing, and if come May we are second, it's going to be this summer that was the problem for it, in my opinion, because roll the dice. I said to you 3 weeks ago on Forever Arsenal, when you said roll the dice, that frustrated me because I said we shouldn't need to. We should know what we. Surely phase 5. Surely the process. Surely the 5th year. You know exactly what you need. But now with 2 weeks to go, what I'm saying is rolling the dice is better than keeping the dice in your pocket.
Yeah, you picked up that
roll
dice.
The dice. Roll
2 ones.
Because at least then, what the Cronkays do, which it should be the bare minimum for them, is protect their name in terms of if it does go wrong this season, and wrong is falling quite short of the league, not winning a trophy, then no one can look back and say, well, look what we spent in the summer, and look at ownership. There's never been one summer at the Emirates where we've finished the season and couldn't look back at ownership and say, they could have done that a bit better, apart from last summer. That was the only summer. So I am frustrated, I am worried, but like I said, the demand won't change whether we sign 2 players in the next 2 weeks or none. All right. Win the league title.
Let's play a game.
Oh, well, fucking good timing.
I made a list of wingers that it's not beyond the realms of possibility we could sign. And I've got some strikers too. We'll start with the wingers. Because the point I was trying to make, I did a video on the Gooniverse where I was like, there are players out there. Like, I'm not saying the perfect options out there, price, fit, age, whatever, but there are players. People can't tell me there aren't players that we can look at. So what we're going to do, we're going to vote. The 3 of you are going to vote, and we'll see how many. If the player gets 2 out of 3 votes, it counts as we would sign them. You ready for the names? You ready? There's a lot. I'll go through the Premier League first. All right, Brian and Bemo.
Nah.
No?
As the 3rd signing, yes.
What does that mean?
Earlier I just said, Calafiori should have been the 4th signing of the summer, as in the extra.
Right.
The 3 priorities before that, striker, number 8, back up for Saka. The 3rd is Mbomo for me.
Okay.
So yes, I'll vote, but listen, if we buy Mbomo in the next 2 weeks, I'm going to be furious.
So you don't mind if he turns up after the previous?
Because we're buying a backup and we need someone to,
Okay, but would you take Mbomo Arsenal? I think he's a really good player.
Yeah, he is. I've said it. So yes,
All right.
but
Yes. No. Yes. You get the decider.
I'll pass on him, brother.
What? That is shock. You're not gonna like the rest of the list. You're not gonna like.
So wait, it was 2 yeses.
Gets worse from here, does
You
it?
said yes.
2 no's.
I said no, bro. I don't want it.
Yeah, and I don't get a vote.
He is a good player, but
He's an upgrade on Reece Nelson, isn't it? That's what it is.
I'm actually shocked.
No, but you know what it is? I think because it's the first name you mentioned, I'm thinking it's probably better to come.
There isn't. Well, no, there is. There is. Okay, all right. That's.
But he is a good player.
Maybe there is no market. This is not proving my point. Okay, let's go through the rest. Simon Adingra, Brighton. No.
No.
Not quite what we're looking for.
These are my 2 of my best ones. Mitoma.
No.
That's roll of the dice. Yes, that's a roll of the dice.
Okay.
Mitoma. I'm gonna say no because I
The
think
Brighton
Brighton would
Mitoma,
ask for a lot of money for him, and
It's
more of a left wing.
3 yeses in that.
You put the
half
yes
one.
on
My
it.
standards are in the mud.
Yeah,
I'm thinking 50 million
you're
on each.
thinking we'll take all of them.
Yeah.
I've said no to all of them.
Julio,
Again, good player, but not for me.
Julio and Ciso. He's more of a 10/winger. No. Okay.
This list
Quality.
ain't looking good, man. I don't know what the Gooniverse was doing last night.
The comments in that video were saying, James, all this has done is prove to me there's no wingers.
Someone said this is a TK Maxx list.
It's the sales section, man.
got
Red
TM.
stickers.
Mikhailo Mudryk.
Hell no.
No, man. No chance.
That ship's well and truly sailed.
Raheem Sterling.
No.
Nani-
Wages are too big.
I'm a massive fan of Raheem, but I'm starting to think that we may have seen the best of him. So
Okay. Noni Madueke.
hell no.
I mean, I called him Whoopi Goldberg earlier with a headband, so I don't want nothing to. I don't want no Chelsea players.
All right. Ebereze.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
hell yeah.
Yeah.
That list. Do you remember we did a
Okay.
list a few weeks ago, and the
Yeah.
play he was like, yeah, Nico Williams, Neto. We were like, yeah.
No, this
Now
is
man's
We're
giving
at
us a
Dingra,
Buemo and a Dingra.
this is the 2
and
weeks
Mudryk.
ago list. What do you want me to do?
I don't know if he should roll that dice if that's what you're rolling it for, bro.
Probably proving the point. Oh no. Okay. Luis Diaz.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I like it.
A good player, but the finishing worries me.
You're
He's
gonna
not
get
a very
him,
good
though, are you,
finisher.
really?
I only
think?
put him in there because of the Man City links the other day. I thought, well, if he's
I
available.
like Diaz. He's
Alright.
28, and I think.
Yeah.
Decide.
I do like
No,
him.
I like him, man. No.
Okay.
On balance, no. For me.
Jadon Sancho.
No.
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 Probably
Hell,
not. I
hell
don't
no.
think he supports that.
He's
I
in
don't
that
think
hell
he
no
suits the
category.
prime.
I'd rather Mbomo than Jadon Sancho.
Would you?
Marcus Rashford.
Hell no.
No.
Hell yeah.
I'm more on the hell
Take,
yeah.
you know me, I'll take Rashford.
Anthony Gordon.
Yes.
Anthony Gordon. Yes. That would be yes.
Oh yeah, thank God we've got 2.
I'm
I mean,
sure
like
on
his
that one.
competition, like he gets into the box. He
It's a
gets
£70 million signing minimum, probably.
Yeah,
And
but
70
that's
million
where we
pulls me
start.
away
You know,
from
yeah,
it.
that's where we start. You know, don't include the price tag because they
No,
will
okay,
change the
well,
whole.
fine. But, okay,
He
we'll
would,
allow him,
he would
fine.
definitely enhance our forward line.
All right, cool.
100%.
Well, he got the. Would you take him? Yeah.
Probably.
All right.
Desperate.
Can I just say with the Rashford thing, I would normally take him, but I just think he's in a bit of a quandary of his career right now. He doesn't know
I
whether
think
he
he, I
wants to
think
be
he
a...
needs a new club, though.
He
I don't
does,
think he suits
but he
Ten
needs to
Hag either.
decide, do I want to be a footballer or a rapper? When he's answered that question...
Come to London, mate. You
Yeah.
can rap and play football.
Nah, do that at Chelsea, mate. Nah,
yeah,
no,
it's true.
Harvey Barnes.
Oh wow,
nah, come on, man.
mate, what happened to you last night, Harvey Barnes? Bro?
Hold on.
He's not a bad player, but we're trying to win the league.
The point of this list wasn't. The point of this list wasn't. They're all great for us. It was look how many wingers are out there. Surely one of them. That was my point. Like of this list of like 30, because there's still more to go.
It's only on 15.
Wow.
Yeah, we've got a way to
Is this the
go.
bottom 15 or the top 15?
There's more to come.
Go on.
Mohamed Kudus,
Oh, come on.
Yes.
Yeah, come on. Yeah.
Callum Hudson-Odoi,
He went
Okay.
from one
I wouldn't-
extreme
I
to the
wouldn't
next
take him,
extreme.
no.
Karim Adeyemi. We're moving out the Premier League now.
But the Burnley guy.
Nah,
The
Dortmund.
Dortmund guy.
He's quick, but he don't really. I don't know.
Adeyemi. Oh, yes.
That's a roll of the dice. I'd say, yeah.
he-
It's
a
a
couple
similar.
of years
yeah.
ago, I thought he was going to be like a
Yeah,
superstar,
Yes or no?
and he's kind of
No,
fizzled
not
out.
at this time. Not
Yeah.
this time.
Yeah, you would.
Possibly, yeah.
We're talking
Let's
2
give
weeks
it a
left,
yes.
yeah.
Cheap.
Federico Chiesa.
Yes, it's just injuries, but yes, in terms of.
That's one of them, like deadline day, and you can't find maybe for 20 mil, but maybe.
Yeah, I mean the 2 week.
I'm giving it a yes because otherwise we're in trouble. Jan Bakayoko.
Nah.
I don't really.
Yeah, again, it's that Mbomo, yes, but he's back up to Saka. I'm looking at left wingers and strikers.
I want a winger that comes in and says, I'm going to try and take your shirt, Saka. I think these men are just going to be.
But I need someone to try to take Martinelli's and Havertz before Saka's. That's why.
That's big shoes to fill, though, Saka. I mean, we at Arsenal, we're always saying he's one of the best wingers in the world. So if you rock up at Arsenal, unless you're very, very special, you're not just going to usurp Saka and get in the team, are you? So,
all right, Rafinha.
No.
No, not for me. No.
Wow, I would have said yes.
Would you?
Yeah, 100%. When I look at what he did in the Premier League only 2 years ago, I just think, get him out of these environments where, to be fair, he won the league with Barcelona, but I don't know, give him
lost
to Arteta.
His place to a 16-year-old.
This is the most obvious one on the list.
I mean,
and judging off last night, he's not available, but I had Rodrigo in there just in case.
Rodrigo would be the one though. Like if there was a pick for a winger in the world,
that felt
a realistic
kind of
one.
attainable,
Yeah. Because I think next summer, like Real will have to sell one of their attackers. It might be Arda Güler, it might be Rodrigo. We'll see how the season pans out. But Rodrigo for me on the left, and then Saka on the right.
Yep.
Do you know what? I watched that game last night just thinking, just give me one of them.
Yeah.
They've got like 4 or 5. Yeah. I'm like, just drop one of them in the Arsenal attack.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I asked that question.
Yeah, you did.
Tried.
Yeah, he laughed in your face. No, he didn't actually.
Probably sign his brother.
Kingsley Coman.
I would take him on loan.
Yeah, the loan
talk
thing
about
is
loan.
Appealing. Yeah.
Loan, I would.
Yeah, Coman looks good.
All right, Serge Gnabry, back at his former club.
Yeah. Point to prove, play across the front line.
Yeah.
Leroy Sané.
Yeah,
I would.
Okay, so of the wingers,
at times, but on balance, very good player.
It's. I mean, look, I've read out players that even I wouldn't take, but Eze, Gordon, Kudus, Adeyemi, Chiesa, Rodrigo, Coman, Gnabry, Sané, and I'd have had Rafinha in there. I think my point is this whole, but there's no one out there, but surely there's someone.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the point of this extensive list. Even if it is, and I know a lot of these players you laughed at, I know you lot think some of them are better than Nketiah and Nelson. I'm not trying to throw shade at those players, but I'm just being...
He thinks all of them.
But not in like I'm not trying to hate in just like Arteta didn't use them in the running. They might be better players than we know, but he didn't use them.
No, all of them are better than Eddie.
Probably
so this was kind of my angle. Can we improve, even if we don't get the right guy, but we improve in some capacity? And I think a lot of the players have proved that point.
I think I will pick Rashford after all. I think you're right. I think a change.
Well, a thing to think about.
Good.
A move
Chuck
away
him in
from
there.
Man United might be just what he needs. The talent.
Okay.
And you want it to be here. You want to fix someone else. I'm good, man. We just about fixed us.
I'm so sorry, amazing production team. There's a super chat I missed. If you don't mind just WhatsApping it to me, and then I'll make sure I get that in. Whoever sent it in, thank you. Lots of people are sending in other names.
Listen, people might just think this is biased, but you see, my first real, I don't watch Turkish league week in, week out. I catch up with Fenerbahce, yeah. So it's not like I knew about Yilmaz much before the Euros, yeah. But Yilmaz for Turkey, he started up top. Arda Güler would go up top. He accommodated on the right. He caused problems. That Van Dijk clip, for example, when he dipped and then caught, and then Van Dijk got the yellow and so on.
Yeah.
Even him, he can play across the front three. He's dynamic. He's someone with pace. And there must be at least 10 more profiles similar out there of players that we don't know about. So there is no excuse. This is what I'm saying. There's no excuse. I don't want to be here come March, April. First and foremost, I want to be in, winning the league by March, April. But if we're here March, April talking about what happened, how did we fall short, I'm not just going to be looking at January. I'm looking at this summer. There's enough talent. Yilmaz would be like 20, 25 mil, honestly. And you've got someone who can come on and be a bit electric and give you some heart. And, I'm not saying great, but roll the dice. Matoma would be a roll of the dice.
Yeah.
Can I throw another perspective out there? Could it be that the club, right, and I'm just putting this out there, could it be that the club feel that they're not in desperate need of a striker in the way that we think? And the reason why I say that is that last season we scored, was it 89 goals, which is a hell of a lot of goals. 91 even. So, and obviously we just missed out. Could it be that the club thinking, unless we get the target that we absolutely want, we are not going to buying people as fillers.
Masha, what I'll tell them is, I've just checked, Man City scored 99 goals in 21-22 and bought Haaland. Okay, that's who we're competing with. So if anyone does want to say that...
Yeah.
The reason why I say that as well is because they don't seem in any desperate rush to get rid of the likes
Well,
of
then
Eddie,
they'll be desperate
offers
come April and May if we don't win the league.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to think, do the club feel that the need is as desperate as the fans feel?
I think the club will turn around and say, you've got Havertz, you've got Jesus, you've got Nketiah. If you want to buy a striker, one of them has got to go. That's $500,000 in wages. So that's why I think the Eddie bid rejection was even crazier, because I think, listen, even if you think Havertz can score goals this year, it's clear you need competition.
Let me read you my striker list,
All right.
which hopefully you'll find a little bit better. Ollie Watkins.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but there's no
It's
way
not going to happen,
Villa.
but yeah, I'll take him.
It's the kind of one where you'd have to panic, drop 100 million on him, and know he's an Arsenal fan. So
He's going to
I think
put a
he's
transfer.
an
But
Arsenal
in
fan.
March, I would have said no. Did you get what I'm saying? It's, again,
I
even
don't
though
think Ollie
his
Watkins
quality...
is the type of guy
I don't
that's
think
going to agitate.
I
for
agree,
a
he
move.
wouldn't force a
He
move,
seems too
but
much of a nice guy.
That's what you'd hope on it. You just hope. You're an Arsenal fan. He's
Come
100
on,
million Villa.
yeah.
They've spent money. Who knows? Ivan Toney.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, he's in that hell yeah bracket. For me.
I don't know why we haven't bought him already.
Well, that's 2 out of 3.
It's a yeah, but it's the opposite of a hell yeah. It's like a yeah.
Is it a roll the dice?
The opposite of a hell yeah is hell no.
No, but I mean like in terms of the emotiveness.
Is that a roll the dice like Matoma? All right, well if we do,
That's
I'd
an easy.
rather that than
Tony's an
nothing.
easy upgrade, but it's not the one that we all would have really wanted this summer.
Cool.
He's another option.
It could be that 9-goal swing that you were talking about.
But remember the context of this is, with 2 weeks to go and we haven't gone and found that perfect player. That's why this list
I think
is
the
pretty
problem
underwhelming.
is the perfect player we all felt was Isak.
Yeah.
And then we got to a point where we're like, that deal's not possible unless the Kroenkes
I
went
don't
mad.
think they tried enough, man.
Well, maybe they didn't.
Could I just say
about-
that one thing with the Tony thing, and me and James spoke about this off camera earlier. The one thing I would say is that with Ivan Toney, it's becoming apparent now that not many clubs are coming in for him. Why is that? Does that lead you to believe that there's something about the person that a lot of the clubs are thinking will pass on it? Because I must admit, I do find it surprising that Tottenham, Chelsea, Arsenal, Man United, all in the hunt for strikers, have not seriously pursued him.
I think personally, because I know a few people who know him, and I think it's to do with the betting. I think people, if you look at like Tonali got charged, then more charges were brought up. I think they're thinking, imagine we buy Tony for 50 mil and then another betting thing comes up and he gets banned for 10 months.
Well, so we
I
hope
think
that's
the
not
Saudi
the case.
club are the only club who've made an actual offer for it.
Do
What-
you
what
guys
about-
not think there's anything slightly awry with
I don't know. I think he's a quality player, so I wonder why more clubs didn't go for him. But
Do you remember that summer when Liverpool knew what they needed to do? Yeah, they nearly got taken to court by Southampton. That's what I wanted Newcastle to do to us. Let me know that you really tried for Isak. Let them try to take us to court. Yeah, that's when I know. That's when I know you lot have tried. Because if Liverpool, and that was the final piece of their jigsaw, or one of the final pieces, which they got 6 months later.
Although, to
Imagine
be
this
fair,
Arsenal
Isak-
lineup with an Isak up top. There's not much strikers on the market, so I would have. It's looking back. So this 2-week list that you've done is going to be far off any ideals. That's why I'll say yes to Ollie Watkins.
Yeah.
But really, we should have really pushed it to the limit.
let me just get through the rest of this list quickly. Evan Ferguson.
Nah.
Nah.
You used to like him, didn't you?
I mean, he's a prospect, though.
He
I mean,
is.
you don't bring. He's not the answer. He's not the answer.
João Pedro.
Not for me. He's decent, but similar to
Nah,
Jesus.
he's got something, but yeah, I can't. He's not the yeah.
Rodrigo Muniz.
Nah,
Looked
that's
alright.
the Fulham guy.
Yeah, he
isn't
looked
it?
alright. I mean,
Rather have Santiago when he's made from goal.
Yes.
It's a great film, by the way.
Great. Oh, the number 3 is
It
disappointing.
was, wasn't it?
Yeah, awful. Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
Oh, come
Oh,
on, man.
no chance.
Hell
mate.
no.
People, the Arsenal fan base wanted him a few years. You remember when he was wearing handbags?
Oh,
I told people.
Move on.
yeah, carry on.
Victor Gyökeres.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he rolled it. Yeah,
You
rolled dice.
gamble on him, Gyökeres.
Victor Osimhen.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going Chelsea, isn't it, by the look of it?
Lewis Openda.
Yep.
There you go. That's my list. So Watkins.
You two are
Tony,
just there
Cooper,
quiet, like you're not voting.
Openda, I'm not
No,
sure. He had a
we've
good
been-
season last year. I'd probably...
I'm on the record as with regards to Osman as saying, every time I see that guy play, I'm just not convinced. People tell me, yes, he scores goals. Obviously, we know what he did at Napoli, but for some reason, whenever I see him play, and I'm not just talking about in AFCON, I've seen him play other games as well, never quite looked that guy for
I'm
me.
not convinced.
So I'd have to
by
say
it,
no.
But I'd gamble on it.
Do we not feel though that in all those names I mentioned, like some of them surely make us better, even if it's just as a squad, even if it's just to play anyone 10th or lower in the Premier League, so Saka gets a bit more rest of the Champions League game night. Like
I agree.
in some way, even if it's a different profile.
Exactly. I've said on the record, the guy coming in doesn't have to be the world beater. He doesn't have to be an Mbappe, but we do need to strengthen in that area, and we need options. I do not think Havertz is going to be that 20-plus guy that's going to get it across the line. I don't think so. I could be wrong. I hope he proves me wrong, but I don't see that from him. We need options in that area. So the guy coming in doesn't have to be, the best player ever, but we do need an option.
Breaking news, nothing to do with Arsenal, but I thought I'd read it out. Pochettino agrees to become new head coach of the United States.
Oh.
Nuts.
Surprised he didn't
Big news.
choose to
No,
stay.
really, I'm joking.
But he's in the World Cup, isn't it? They're getting the...
I looked at Turkish, I was like, oh, is that it?
I said it wasn't Arsenal related. That's quite interesting, no?
I think that's a good move for him, but I was a little bit surprised he wouldn't have stayed in domestic football.
All right, go on. We've left it long enough.
Been cancelled.
Oh my word, he's here.
Just because you've walked a few miles.
Well, a round of applause,
Well
Pete.
done.
Come on.
Fair play
That
to
is
you, bro.
impressive.
Tired.
How you doing? Well done, my friend.
What are you saying? Is it done?
Let's
Is
sit
it
down
done?
quick.
What's going on?
Yeah.
No,
Don't collapse it, though.
Do you want a mic? Hold on. Tell everyone what you've been doing. In one set. There we go.
So I've been doing a walk for Prostate Cancer UK. Walked around all the Premier League grounds in London. So started off by going to Brentford,
Yep.
then walked to Fulham, from Fulham to Chelsea, from Chelsea to Crystal Palace. Then on day 2 from Crystal Palace to West Ham. Long walk.
That's a long walk.
And then on the final day, today, went from West Ham to Tottenham and ended up at Arsenal. So it's done now. Please donate.
Hey, man,
well
big up, man.
I'll be donating.
Please donate if you can. There's a link in the I'm sure they'll put a link in the description. It's for a great charity, Prostate Cancer UK. Met some great people along the way as well. People who were talking about how they'd survived the cancer or how they knew people who've got it, because 1 in 8 men get it. 1 in 4 black men. So it's a serious disease. So yeah, man, but
Well done.
I'm knackered.
Okay,
Right, so
I
I
see
just
that.
came in to say hello.
No, fair play.
Any news on Transfer Daily? Or, you know what I mean?
I've still been doing transfer daily.
I know I
every day.
saw Variety links this morning. I said, what's going on here, man? Maybe the walk's made him busy.
I missed you, I missed you.
It's been hot the last few days. Turn the camera on. I'll just go with Verratti.
I'm sure you saw it this morning.
He done it as well.
I didn't say I didn't talk about it.
No, I think the Merino thing's going to happen.
Yeah, that's
Even I've been getting a little whisper of that. That's coming in very soon. So it's taken ages.
Yeah.
But it's whether and isn't it? I've just heard today that Palace are interested in Nketiah.
Well, go walk around another
walk
stadium
home
right
now,
now because you need to clear your head.
Saying,
Who said that?
no, that's what I think I saw it on
This
Sky.
is 14th time they're interested in 3 years, bro.
Bournemouth have got that event.
I know, but who said?
So Bournemouth are not going to buy him, but apparently Palace are interested.
Oh, Rob, you know when I was younger, I was interested in Christina Milian, but it never happened.
I do think Eddie will leave before the end of the window. I don't know where. Palace are interested in it.
No, he doesn't know where. It's just
Going somewhere.
No, I think even if it's a loan thing with an obligation or something, but I do think he'll leave. But Palace are interested in it. So,
No, I did hear that.
That
as well.
lost
I did hear
this.
that as well.
Look, this is what I'm saying. You two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eddie was watching this going, no, give me 10 more million.
The other day he's blaming it on me.
Eddie's calling Arteta saying, no, hey, Palace are interested.
That's what he did, he
The
blamed
Dom just
me.
said it on
It's all my
AFTV.
fault.
Bro, he should be a Marseille player right now.
But anyway, listen, I'm going to leave you guys.
Well done,
Big
Robbie.
up, man.
Good work, man.
Well done.
People out there,
Yeah, man,
donate,
big up.
donate if you can, man. If you can, if you can't, just read up on the cancer as well, because it does affect a lot of people. So
Yeah, or share it or whatever.
I'm going
Yeah.
on to bed, man. See you guys tomorrow.
Go rest.
Yeah, man, later on, bro.
Later.
Well done, Robbie.
Well done, man.
So
I got Spudgy though.
Yeah, man.
Christina Milian.
Hey, come on. It
That
was
was
serious back in the day.
So, latest transfer rumours. Palace are interested in Eddie Nketiah.
Breaking news.
No, I did see
From
that earlier today
2021.
myself. I saw that come up on my feed. So
Have I got 2 mics on production? Maybe I don't even need this. Maybe this did nothing this whole time. But anyway, so look, let me be really honest. I think we missed a big opportunity with the Marseille thing. It's done now. I moaned about it last week, or Monday, but we missed an opportunity, in my opinion, like a big one. I just think it was a good club for Eddie. He was keen on the move. Contract was agreed. I don't think the final fee at the end of the loan with an obligation of around 23 million. Some people are disputing whether that was a full 23 million, whether it was add-ons based. I just felt it sounded from the information we had that it was a sensible, good deal to do. We missed the opportunity. And when everyone was getting excited about the Bournemouth Eddie stuff, I'm not going to pretend I wasn't. Like I was like, okay, maybe there's a potential buyer there. But he's nothing like Solanke. So I thought, if they're looking for... Evan Nilsson is more... He's still not... But he's more like a Solanke, a little bit. Just in terms of maybe sort of height and sort of tech or whatever. I don't know, I just felt it was a missed opportunity. Will Palace come in, Freddie? I mean, why would they? They've got Mateta and Edouard. Like, I think they're stacked in that position already. You can play up front. Eze can play false nine. I don't...
Someone told Rob that on the walk for sure. Because
no, it's if you look on your internet feed, you'll see it.
I'm looking and I don't see it.
I've seen that for a couple of years though.
Yeah,
man,
well, it's coming up from 2021.
Yeah. Listen, my thing with Eddie, just briefly on what you said, is like I saw a lot of... I tweeted it at the time, take the 27 million or 23 million pounds. People were saying, let's try and get more, or this guy's gone to that club. And I said, you've got to put into perspective, he's on £100,000 a week. That is a big wage. Like, I was looking at Bournemouth, like, that would have made him top earner. Cliver is on 80 grand top earner.
Wow.
You're going to struggle to get 30 million plus 100,000 a week wages for Eddie. So
You're pissing me off
I think
because on the way here I was talking to Josh about this thing exactly. 100k a week, 2 years. How much have we spent on Eddie in those 2 years, please? 100k, 52 weeks. What's that? 5.2 mil?
I'm not doing the maths, but maybe.
5.2 mil, right?
Yeah.
100k, 52 weeks, 2 years, 10.4 mil. Protect his value, they said. Yeah, we're 10.4 million in.
Yeah.
sorry, come on, give something back. I know you're waiting.
No, listen.
10 mil in 2 years, man, he's made. And I'm not just saying him. A lot of men have done
I've
this
made
over
it
the
very
years at
clear.
Arsenal,
I've advocated for Eddie in the past because I don't think he's as bad as the likes of you guys are saying. That's just my opinion. However, let's be realistic. He's not getting any real game time at Arsenal. You saw towards the back end of the season in those crunch games, he was coming on for the last 10 minutes. It's clear that they've lost faith in him at Arsenal. The manager will never come out and say so because he's trying to protect the value of the player. But if we all watch football, we all know what's going on. And Eddie himself, he must know that he needs to move. He needs to resuscitate his career.
Well, he's done
still
his
young.
bit. He agreed to move to
the
Marseille.
terms.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's young enough to know that, listen, I need to get regular game time. He needs to go.
But there's several players. Sorry, because it's not just Eddie. There's other players. Reece Nelson, Aaron Ramsdale didn't get a minute in pre-season. I'm not saying I'm against that. I'm just giving you the facts. Like, there are still quite a few players that really... There are players that we've just let go for free recently. There are players that... I'm not saying we should have tied them down and tried to get value out of them, but you wonder why they were here so long, to the point at which they ultimately just ended up going on a free. Cedric, we tried to get rid of a year and a half, 2 years ago. Like, there are...
But my question to you guys
sale.
is, if he's that bad as the likes of what you two guys are saying, and several, to be fair to you two, there's a lot of the fan base who would believe that to be the case also. Why is it then, when Arsenal have been offered what I think is a decent, it's not good because, you know, most British players would probably go for more than that. Why didn't they take the money then?
They obviously thought it was worth more, or they could get more.
I think they anticipated they'd get more. And look, but before people go, well, Arteta really wants to keep him. I think a year ago I'd have said that. But if you look at pre-season, he started the Bournemouth friendly. He didn't start the United one, it was Jesus. He didn't start the Liverpool one, it was Jesus. He didn't start the Leverkusen one, it was Jesus. And then
but wasn't that round about the time that the Marseille intro?
He didn't even play.
So
he only got 10 minutes against Leverkusen. So Arteta's planning. He's planned this season, pre-season, with Nelson more in mind than Nketiah. So, and Ramsdale included in that. So that's where I feel a bit like, you know, Arteta's not. I don't think Arteta's desperately trying to keep hold of him. So, do other buyers come in? We don't know. Bournemouth now have Evan Nilsson. Marseille went for Wahi instead. So, we wait and see. The question is, does this stop Arsenal signing a forward, or as we get later in the window, will Arsenal go, okay, we tried to do the whole sell first and see what we get, but now we just got to address it anyway. Do we think Arsenal go for a forward, yes or no?
I think they'll go for a forward. I mean, at the moment, we've been linked with Gyökeres. How meaningful that is.
Oh, we have been all
summer, exactly. Yeah. So, and like I said, it would appear that the club are not just going to let Eddie go like that. So clearly, it's either that they don't think he's as bad as what a lot of the fan base are saying. They think we could still use him, or
they're just incompetent, which is probably the answer. Because
could be
you've got one team interested in this guy, one team, and you fuck it up. Now people are guessing Bournemouth are interested. Oh no, the next day they're not. They go, oh, now it's Crystal Palace. Who's going to be tomorrow and the next day? It's silly. It was that, you know, there's a thin line between seeking. There was an obsession this summer going into it about seeking true value for player sales, and I get that. Our player sales and the exits from the club have been embarrassing over the years. Yeah. But the players we had were embarrassing, so it kind of made sense how it kind of all unfolded. You know, Eddie, in my opinion, you know, falls into that category. There was never no value there in the beginning to give him the new contract. And now it's come to a point where any incomings rely upon his outgoing. That's unacceptable. Unacceptable.
Do you know what I've been, and people will know, I've been critical of Arteta in the past. If I'm looking at the people above, like you said, because clearly he signed off that he could go, and then the people above said, well, we think he's worth a little bit more.
It feels that way, doesn't it?
It feels like that. I'm actually looking at Arteta this summer and going, you've been let down by the people above you.
Yeah.
This club should have easily made 100 million in outgoings. Smith Rowe's gone 34. Eddie, you could have got 23. That's already, 57 million. Beerif went for 4. That's 61. I think Norton Cuffy's just gone for 4. That's 65. You should have easily got
Tavares 5, 70.
Tavares 5, so you're at 70. You're looking at Ramsdale, an option. You're then looking at Ramsdale. You're looking at Nelson. You're looking at Eddie. It should be 100 million.
Kivior maybe.
The club should have made 100 million in outgoings and said, Arteta,
on top of what we should have had. Because all I've been hearing recently, and listen, this goes to Josh as well. That guy, you know, he talks to a few people on tour and whatnot, and he'll act smug about certain things, about the way Arsenal run their business. Yeah, listen, about how
be excited, guys. Be excited.
But you know, I haven't been there in person, but I've heard through the grapevine that there's a bit of a smugness to the way, and I get that. Up until this summer, it's looked like Arsenal have been amazing in the way we've turned things around off the pitch. It looks like our wage bill is so much better, and so on. So what's happened? What has happened? That 3 months ago we were
about the smugness. Sorry.
That this is, you know, other teams are going to be following the way Arsenal. Have you seen other teams trust in a process and all of this stuff? Until you win something, until you get over the line, then I'll say, yeah, cool, you can act up, you can put chest out. But I just feel like they're resting on their laurels now, because how do we go from, our wage bill's clear, I'm moaning about Havertz on 275, the same people that are telling me to shut up are now telling me that, you know, it's tight. Which one is it? You know, which one is it? Have we got money? Are we well run? Or we don't have money and we're broke again? Like, I don't get it. How do we have to sell another player? Be in net spend, it'd be a minus basically if we sell another player. No, because Calafiori's come in, Smith Rowe's gone out. So we would have made profit. We would have made
I think we spent about
profit essentially.
Yeah.
You do have to take into account FFP and how the club's run.
Oh, bro, like I said, Laurie, don't do this.
No, what I'm saying is, but the clubs have to be open and transparent in the way they do things in terms of their financial, the way they do things. You know what I'm saying? So it has to level up. So, yeah. But no, listen, I'm agreeing with you. We do need to bring players in certain positions, 100%.
Jorge says, Arteta has shown he is a capable manager. Kroenke's and Edu have to come through for him. If we don't spend, how can we blame him?
Just one sec. To all the people in the chat saying FFP now as well, and Laurie, but you've said it respectfully, that does FFP not work for Chelsea? Does it not work for United? Does it not work for Tottenham?
Yeah, Tottenham's the interesting
Tottenham
one.
have spent 100 mil. Or is it just us that follow these letters? Stop fucking it's moronic at times.
If you put him in charge, you're going to
it's
end up
moronic
like
that some of the things people come and they speak like it's a fact. Like, duh, FFP tapped. Like, it doesn't make sense. I'm seeing other clubs spend 100 M's, and we have qualified twice for Champions League. We reset our wage bill. Like,
don't forget, we spent 100 M's last year on one player.
Yeah, because we've waited long enough. It's 19 years of we're going to be closer to Bayern Munich. So well done. You've done that now. How come you followed that with 2 windows that have been underwhelming?
So Kevin says, Mikel must go if we don't win a trophy this season, and we go get Klopp.
Well, the Klopp thing's never going to happen. But I'll tell you one thing, though. I've spoken to a few fans already this season, and they're saying we have to win big this season, League or Champions League. That's just a reflection of what I'm seeing and hearing with the fan base. I'm sure you guys have heard the same thing.
And I feel that we're capable, and even with the squad we've got, we're capable. But my word, it's a missed opportunity. If we don't, that's all. I think if we don't add, and we give ourselves a really good platform for it, it'll be a shame. I still think we're capable of doing all that, but I think the players we have could use a little bit of help. That's kind of what I
think that's going to be what will get a lot of people upset. If we run City close, or whoever it is close, but just miss out, a lot of people will be looking back to now and saying, this is where we fell short. We should have strengthened.
Well, the problem is, when you look at the Man City team now, from 1 to 11, you don't feel there's a desperate need in any position in that team. Okay, Walker had a shaky England, but I'm sure he'll look better when he goes back to Man City. They could do with strengthening. When you look at Arsenal, you think you need a midfielder next to Declan Rice. Partey's unlikely to give you 38 games. Havertz is probably not the answer.
You know, squad-wise, I think we're in a better position than City, like squad in terms of pure numbers. But I think in terms of 11 and then quality to back up their quality, that's where I think we come up. We don't have a De Bruyne and a Haaland. And when they lost De Bruyne, Phil Foden or Bernardo Silva could play in the 10. That's kind of what I'm saying. Like, they're 11 for me. It's like you'd do well to better that. But maybe the squad and what's actually, going into sort of the depths. Yeah, they rely on a lot of youngsters more recently, especially after the sale of Alvarez and stuff. But yeah, anyway. Final super chat. Harry says over 20 million for Eddie would have been a bargain anyway. Abdullah says, what we need is last season's defence and Martinez and Jesus of the 22-23 season. No need for signings after Merino. When a right guy appears, we go. For now, no panic. And JJ says we need a manager who buys a damn striker. All right, everyone, we'll leave it there. That's the end of talking. Hope you've enjoyed the show. There's 2 weeks to go, people. I hope it's going to pick up. The Merino thing does feel like it started to, but I don't know. It feels like the Calafiori one is dragged a little bit now, but we'll probably reach the conclusion we all want. Final super chat's coming from Brandon. I don't think Arteta cares about scoring as much as he does about shutting teams out. Maybe he sees that as the bedrock of a title-winning campaign, is having a strong defence, but he has said himself in interviews, box efficiency was a problem last season. Let's hope it's addressed this season. Big thanks to Curtis. Go check out Curtis Shaw TV, Turkish LDN as well. Go subscribe, I'm sure you all are already. And a big thanks to Laurie as well for joining.
And the Gooniverse, come on, give yourself a bit of promotion.
Well, I'm on the Gooniverse sometimes, so go check that out. Everyone, big thanks, and we'll see you very soon.